Hey guys, it's Luke, and in this video, I'm going to be teaching you 4 words from the news. And of course, we're going to be learning in context, because that way you'll know how to use what you learn. If you can't use it, do you really know it? No. And we're going to be looking at 2 different news stories, one about Donald Trump's potential arrest, and the other about a possible potential ban of TikTok in the United States. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And now let's get into it. Now, the first word we're going to talk about is actually 2 words. It's a phrasal verb, and that is cover up. We're going to be looking at this in a story about Donald Trump potentially getting arrested and what would happen if he did get arrested. But this phrasal verb, how is it used? Cover up. I cover up my coffee sometimes with a lid, or I cover up myself with a blanket. Is it the same thing? Well, let's first look at it in context and then talk about how it can be used. So let's just read the sentence. The investigation was initially focused on hush money payments to Daniels, which were made ahead of Trump's 2016 election to cover up her alleged affair with the then candidate. Now, I'd like you to pay attention to the word alleged or alleged here, because we're going to be looking at a different form of this word in just a moment. So pay attention to how that's used there. It's in front of a noun, the noun affair. But for now, let's talk about cover up. Okay, ahead of Trump's 2016 election to cover up her alleged affair. Is an affair something that people want to be public? Do people want others to know about their affairs or some bad things about them? No. So if you're a very famous person, right, a celebrity or a candidate or something, and you do something bad, then what might you do? Well, what do famous people and politicians often do? They cover it up. So yes, just like you covering yourself up with a blanket, they might cover up this bad thing that they did, that they don't want others to find out about. Now, the kind of thing can vary. It can be something very small but embarrassing. It could be a major crime. The point is, you don't want others to find out. So you do something, you take some actions to prevent people from finding out. And the actions that you take are what you would describe as covering it up, or at least trying to cover it up. Now, the cover up often then becomes an even bigger scandal or even bigger news. And then we describe this as a cover up. So then it becomes a noun. If a phrasal verb becomes a noun, usually it becomes one word. So a cover up. Now, I told you to pay attention to that word, alleged or alleged. And by the way, it's okay to pronounce it either way. But that's the adjective form. What about the adverb form, allegedly? Well, let's take a look at it in context. So first, we'll just read through it. It's expected that any charges against Trump will be for falsifying business records tied to the hush money payments to Daniels, as he allegedly reimbursed ex-attorney Michael Cohen for paying Daniels through the Trump organization. So, allegedly reimbursed. Well, what is reimbursed? This is if I pay for something for you and then you pay me back later, that is reimbursing me. That's a verb. So allegedly is the adverb form. But what does it mean in this case to do something allegedly? Well, this is usually used when we want to say a lot of people are saying this, a lot of people are accusing this person of something, a lot of people at least are saying it's true, and we're not 100% sure and we don't want to say that we are, or it hasn't been proven in the law or in court or something. So we say allegedly, and often allegedly actually goes after rather than before. Now, it could be about a lot of different things. It could be something very serious like a crime, or it could be something that's not that serious, but usually it's about something that we could say is bad. But what is bad? Well, you could say he murdered everyone he knew, allegedly. That means maybe. That's a terrible example. That means that's such a stupid example. I don't know why I thought of that example. That means that we haven't proven it for sure yet, even though it's everyone he knew, which is probably a lot of people. I don't know why I'm laughing about that. That's horrible. But it could be much less severe. For example, yes, he actually got admitted to that prestigious university because of his father's relationships with the dean of the university. Allegedly. That's saying I don't have definite proof, but a lot of people think that's true, and I think that's true too. I just want to mention that I'm not 100% sure. So again, it's not about how severe it is, it's about that wanting to say that it's not 100% certain, that it hasn't been proven 100%. And again, going back to that sentence, he allegedly reimbursed attorney Michael Cohen. So do we know that for sure? No, that suggests that it hasn't been proven 100%. And that is what alleged is telling us, okay? So now let's go on to the next story. This is about the possibility that TikTok could be banned in the United States. And recently, today for me, the CEO of TikTok was essentially grilled by Congress. Now, what does it mean to be grilled? Well, you know what it means in regard to food, right? To grill food. So I think you can probably figure this out, but it's used in a very interesting way here. Now let's look at it in context. Republicans and Democrats alike grilled the 40-year-old Chu about China's relationship with his company, data privacy, possible teen addiction to the app, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what does grill mean here? Well, it's a verb, and I think you can probably guess the meaning. It's very similar to the word interrogate. And where does this come from? Well, grilling food, right? It's a very intense process where you're putting food on top of fire, right? And burning it with flames. Well, if you're under intense investigation or scrutiny, or people are questioning you and trying to get information, you could say that you're being grilled. Now, in this case, it's Congress grilling the CEO of TikTok, but you could have parents grilling their 15-year-old son or daughter for coming home after they were supposed to. You were supposed to be home at 11. You came home at 2 a.m. You snuck in the window. Tell us what happened. Oh, nothing happened. I was hanging out with my... Tell us what happened, right? You're being grilled by your parents. So you can use it in a lot of ways. If you feel like you're being grilled, you might say, hey, you don't need to grill me. Let's have a conversation about it. Let me first, take my shoes off and sit down, and then let's have a friendly conversation. No need to grill me. So it's actually very useful. Now, the next word we're going to look at, I really like a lot, and that is the word implication or implications. I use it pretty often, but I think we should first look at it in context and then talk about how it's used. So, in the article, the same one, also not mentioned today by members of the committee, the livelihoods of 5 million businesses on TikTok, or the First Amendment implications of banning a platform loved by 150 million Americans. When you see implications, usually we're talking about some kind of connection, relationship, or conclusion that we can reach that is not obviously stated, right? And it may be, and this is very important, I think, it may take place in the future. So you could have an action now, something that you do now, which has major implications later on. So connected with this action, now there are some things that I think will happen, although they haven't happened yet. So I'm sort of making the connection between what's happening now and what could happen in the future. It's not the same as saying this will happen, and it's not saying exactly what will happen. That's where we're allowed to be a little fuzzy, and sometimes you want to be not so clear because you're not sure exactly what's going to happen. And you could use this in a positive or a negative way. For example, there's a lot of stuff happening right now around AI. And all of these new things that are happening around AI will have major implications for the workplace, right? For people's livelihoods, for the economy. So there are implications related to these things, and these will sort of happen or unfold in the future, but I don't know exactly what those things are. I just know that there will be major implications, and I'm connecting it to those different topics. So this is kind of, this is a slightly more challenging word, right? But I just like to think of it as a relationship, but we don't have to be too specific, and it often, but doesn't always, have to do with things that may or may not happen in the future, okay? So we have talked about 4 words. We talked about implications. We talked about grilled. We talked about cover up or a cover up, and we've talked about allegedly. Hopefully now you have a pretty good idea about how these are used. But if you have any questions or you'd like to try to make your own examples, please let me know or send those in the comments. Also, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. That really helps a lot. And if you want to get a free course, Natural English Conversations, you can do that in the links in the description. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.